Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's us. We've returned. We have came out of our cryo tubes, and we've decided that we're going to do another video, another podcast. So, as you can probably tell outside, things are changing. The summer season is coming to an end. We're leaving summer, and we're moving into fall. And you're probably thinking, oh, here we come. More Halloween videos, even though it's still September. No, we are going to do something a little bit different today. Me and Connor's with me. He's here. He's going to say something funny now.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. You may not understand that, but I do. Anyways, what we decided to do is that because we've been kind of slack on the videos and the podcasts this year, we decided we would just do a quick summer blockbuster recap. Because, surprisingly, we both ended up going to the movie theater a lot this summer.
Yeah, and also, this is to kind of ease the burden for the end of the year or when we do the year in review podcast. Because those have, to be honest, when we recap the stuff that we saw that was new or new to us, it's kind of gotten out of hand lately. So we might talk in detail here a little bit more about these movies, and then at the end of the year, we'll just kind of mention, oh yeah, we saw this.
Yep.
And, well, actually, some of these we might not even mention again.
Yeah.
Because it's probably better that way. So yeah. So just to be clear, these are movies we saw in the theater. They're not necessarily movies that were new this year. They might have been re-showings and stuff like that. There are actually plenty of those on this list. But
yeah, so not all these movies were new to us, but it was all new in some way.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're going to kick it off with the first big summer movie, the movie that kicked off the summer blockbuster season. And this is a repeat viewing. And we went to the Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary showings.
Yeah, and I was trying to remember, what month did that actually...
It was April.
Show?
We went and saw it in
April?
April. It was
Okay.
the very end of April, but it was April.
Okay, I thought it was May already. Oh, because I think I had said to you, it's like, why didn't they wait till May the 4th or whatever?
Yeah, like I said, I think it was literally a week before May the 4th. But Revenge of the Sith. I'm trying to think, what do I want to say about this movie that hasn't already been said?
It was Revenge of the Sith on a big screen. Because I didn't see it back in the day in the theater.
Oh, you missed
I don't know
out?
if you did. Yeah.
So seeing Revenge of the Sith in theaters as a kid was one of my all-time peak movie theater experiences. And it was cool to be able to go back and see it again in the same theater that I saw it in. Probably not the same room, but it was the same building. That being said, Revenge of the Sith hits a little bit differently as an old man than it did as a 9-year-old boy. And I've kind of had, a back and forth with all the Star Wars prequels. I used to love them. And then I turned, 16, and I started to dislike them. And then I turned 20, and then I absolutely hated them. But I've kind of come around to certain aspects of them. But I will say, I think that seeing them in the theaters is probably one of the better ways to watch them.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, any movie for the most part.
Yeah. But I think these movies especially, just because of, they're so big and bombastic, and the John Williams music has to be appreciated, last year we went to the Phantom Menace re-showing, and that one was really cool. I guess it kind of helped me find more appreciation for that movie. I didn't have the same experience watching Revenge of the Sith, but the one thing that did stick out to me watching this movie, I was like, every single song in this movie is so good. And I don't know if that's all nostalgia speaking or not, but it's I didn't really realize how awesome the John Williams soundtrack is. And I also didn't know this because as a kid, don't tell the police, the Star Wars soundtracks were some of the first music I ever pirated in 5th grade, borrowing them from the library and then ripping them to my computer.
Yeah, I don't know if the police are interested, but the FBI might
be.
The
FBI might be. And don't get me wrong, I would never steal my friend or whatever those commercials used to say back in the day.
You wouldn't steal a... Oh, dang, it's been forever since I've seen one of those.
Yeah.
I mean, Revenge of the Sith, it's old enough that it probably had that ad on it.
Yeah, it probably did. It was the first Star Wars movie to not get a VHS release. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Apparently, you can still get some VHS tapes of it. Like, I think in Korea, they had, like, a limited run. I think Korea was doing VHS tapes all the way into, like, 2010. But they're hard to find.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I would figure, like, an Asian country, or, like, I don't know. But Korea, that's not one I would have picked.
Yeah. But, like I said, apparently there's a ton of songs from Revenge of the Sith soundtrack that just never got released. And you can find them online. Somebody's compiled and made a true, like, complete Revenge of the Sith soundtrack. And there you go. There's a music recommendation. So if you missed out on Revenge of the Sith in theaters, but you still want some weird Star Wars nostalgia that you haven't probably ever experienced, just go in and listen to the full soundtrack of Revenge of the Sith, because a lot of that music was good, and a lot of the unreleased tracks were like in some of the video games that came out around that time, which kind of threw me off.
Yeah. Also a good recommendation, the video game. It's not that bad. Like the console one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know about the handheld versions, but yeah, like on PlayStation 2, Xbox, it's pretty good. Like, I guess it would be like almost like a beat 'em up, but with lightsabers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got like a 1v1 mode that's almost like a fighting game. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I haven't played it in years, but a buddy of mine and we'd play that all the time. That and Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I hate to sound like an old man that's like, oh, Star Wars was better when I was a kid, but I do miss when the Star Wars movies were like a huge event and you got like 3 different video games, all of which are still good to this day, that came out with it. I mean, in 2005, we had the Revenge of the Sith game, you had the Battlefront 2. I'm trying to think, there was one other game, Star Wars game, that came out around that time. Oh, Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was Lego Star Wars. Yeah, it had to have been that year.
Yeah.
I think 2 came out the following.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, those are all great games outside of nostalgia. So,
Yeah.
do you have anything that you want to say about Revenge of the Sith?
No, one thing I will mention, since we mentioned Phantom Menace,
Mm-hmm.
for some reason I was able to shut my brain off more when we were watching Revenge of the Sith. I don't know if it was because it was later in the day and like I just wanted to not think. But yeah, I remember like Phantom Menace, it was easier to like see all the issues with like the acting and stuff with that for me. But Revenge of the Sith, even though I knew they were there, it's just like I kind of was like, eh.
I mean, there was some issues that I didn't even think about before, and like weird little things too that shouldn't bother me, but they did. And
Yeah.
Here's one, because this is one that I didn't notice until now. And at the end of the movie, you got Jimmy Smits. He's playing as Bail Organa. He's on the Tantive 4, and then behind him is this really weird white dude with like a super 2005 haircut, and I'm like, who the heck is this dweeb behind him, right? And then Bale turns around and goes, "Isn't that right, Captain Antilles?" I was like, oh my god. It's like, oh, this is how it felt to be an old man in 2005 seeing these movies. So yeah, even as an old man, I'm finding new ways to cringe at the prequels, but I still have a love for those movies. I still think there's lots of cool stuff in them.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I think yours. Yeah, you got the next
Yeah, I'll do
one.
the next one. So some of these movies we're going to mention, we didn't both watch them.
Yep.
The
next one is...
I guess I should say there's going to be various amounts of spoilers throughout here. Some of these movies I'm going to try not to spoil. Some of them, like Revenge of the Sith, I am going to spoil. I don't know if I did spoil anything with Revenge of the Sith, but
No, not really.
But everybody knows that movie's, yeah.
Oh, guess what? Anakin becomes Darth Vader.
Yeah, big shock. But the next movie I want to talk about is Thunderbolts.
Okay.
Now, Thunderbolts is one of the more recent Marvel movies, and it's kind of been an interesting thing to see online, because when this movie came out, it was getting pretty good reviews online, and it had like pretty good word of mouth, but it didn't sell super well. Now, obviously, the quality of a movie is not determined based off how many tickets it sells. But the thing that I kept hearing people say online is like, oh, this is like back to basics. Like, this is back to classic Marvel. So I was like, okay, you have my attention. I was skeptical at first. To lead up to this, there was 2 trailers released. The first trailer, the one that plays that Pixies song, that was a good trailer. The second trailer that plays that, like, who is it? Like, some 70s girly song. Maybe it's an 80s girl song. That trailer was just awful.
Which trailer did they show before?
You
Revenge
saw
of
the second one.
That trailer sucked donkey
Yeah,
ass. I wasn't really on the fence about seeing Thunderbolts. It's like I'm at the point where it's like, unless it's like Daredevil or Punisher or like something mainline, I don't want to see it. But that, it's like, I never want to see this.
Yeah, it was an awful trailer. So, how was the movie actually? Were the Marvel shills right? Well, I mean, I guess it does go back to basics by having the final battle be a villain who comes out of literally nowhere, and there's not really any build up to it. So yeah, I guess it did go up back to basics.
What was the name you had for that trope? Something robot Jeff Bridges?
Yeah, so this was a term that was coined by Cosmonaut Variety Hour, and it's Evil Robot Jeff Bridges, or ERJB for short. And it's referring to the fact that at the end of the first Iron Man movie, an evil robot, Jeff Bridges, comes out and he has to fight him. And there's kind of always a trope with the older Marvel movies, where just at the end, the big bad guy shows up even though he wasn't really there throughout the rest of the movie. I think a good example of a movie that did his comic book villain right is the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, because it's Spider-Man's origin story, but it's cut between the Green Goblin's origin story. And by the halfway point of the movie, both heroes are fighting each other and doing their own things. This movie doesn't do that. You have this character named Bob, and he's just kind of this, kind of a socially awkward kid, and, some of the team members are a little rude to him. And then at the end of the movie, he turns into this evil, he turns into Homelander. It's like all of Homelander from The Boys squeezed into like 3 minutes. And then he turns into a shadow monster and starts like 9/11ing people. And it's just like, where did this all come from? Like, what I think is weird is, like, it seems like people are, like, really defensive about this movie. Like, I've seen a lot of people, like, online make videos talking about how good this movie is and how it's stuff. And I wouldn't call this an awful movie, but I wouldn't say it's that good. I'd say it's, I would say it's mid-tier Marvel, I mean, it was definitely better than a lot of the newer Marvel stuff that's come out, but I wouldn't say it was that good. And like I said, the ending I just didn't buy the ending. I also feel like the movie had a bit too many jokes. Like, I get that the MCU is all about, like, action comedies now, but this movie is very clearly trying to be, like, a dark, gritty superhero movie. Like, just with the way it's shot and, like, the characters that they use. Like, all the characters wear, like, black and, like, dark red outfits. Like, So you would expect it to be, just a little bit more serious. And I think that if the movie had been more serious and had fleshed out some of the ideas, because going back to Bob, aka the Sentry, his whole thing is that he has some variant of the Captain America super soldier serum, but the idea is that he's supposed to be like a drug addict backpacker that was like stolen in like the Philippines or something. And the idea is that, because they established in the first Captain America movie that the serum makes all of Chris Evans' good attributes even stronger, that all of Bob's bad attributes become stronger as well, which I think that's a very interesting idea. Like, what happens when you take a drug addict and turn him into a super drug addict? That being said, it's not really how Bob acts. He doesn't really act like a strange recovering drug addict. He just acts like a socially awkward nerd, So like I said, the movie didn't win my heart completely. Again, that's far from the worst movie that we're going to talk about today, but I would say it was whatever for me. I will say that it was better shot than most Marvel movies. I like the fact that they used a lot of real locations instead of just green screens. Like, when they're out in the desert, they're actually out filming it in the desert, which I thought was cool. But, yeah.
Okay.
I think that sums up all I have to say about that.
All right. Well, I think you got another movie.
Yep, the next movie
to talk about.
Next movie I want to talk about is The Phoenician Scheme.
Okay.
So this is the newest movie by Wes Anderson, not to be mistaken for Paul W.S. Anderson. That's a different director. I've never really seen any Wes Anderson movies.
I understand now why you said, "Oh, there's a bunch of celebrities in this movie," because that's how all of his movies are.
Yeah.
It's like just a.
Yeah, this movie just has a ton of celebrities. A lot of them just make cameos.
Yeah.
Like, again, I don't want to spoil too much for this movie, but Willem Dafoe shows up briefly as like the Grim Reaper and just little things like that. Like,
oh, that's funny.
Yeah, like it's fun. You know, I think that cameos can be annoying with celebrities sometimes, but with this movie, I thought it was totally fine. Now, like I said, I haven't really watched too many Wes Anderson movies. I don't know if I've ever seen one start to finish until this movie. But like, and I get a lot of people don't like Wes Anderson's movies. They say it's like too much style over substance and too much of his style. But here's the thing, man. I had just seen Thunderbolts. I needed to see something that was like as far from generic as possible. Like, is this movie going to make sense, be told like non-chronologically and be up for interpretation? Okay, good. I need a palate cleanser.
Okay.
And I enjoyed this movie a lot. Like I said, I can't really compare it to his other movies, but it stars, what's his name? Benicio del Toro, Michael Cera, and then there's some other actress who I wasn't familiar with, and she has like a long foreign name.
I'll look it up. You can keep talking.
I feel bad for not remembering her name, but this was a while when I saw the movie. But I thought the movie was quite funny. Again, I know he has this kind of signature quirky style of humor, but it kind of works for me. Like the joke that was shown in the trailer that made me want to see the movie is that he hands a hand grenade to someone. He's like, "Here, as a thing of gratitude, I want you to have this hand grenade." And they're like, "Oh, that was so thoughtful of you." And like, just that interaction seemed funny to me. The other joke in this movie that I really like is that Benicio del Toro's character is supposed to be like an evil mob business tycoon type individual. And there's a bunch of people that are trying to kill him. And Mia Thrapleton, that's the actress's name. Sorry about that. Sorry, Mia, if you're listening. I'm sorry I didn't call you out. You did a good job in the movie. But, like, so one of the jokes is that every once in a while he's like, "Hang on, I think I recognize you. Aren't you an assassin?" And the joke is that he's hired so many assassins throughout the year that all of the people who are hiring assassins to kill him, he already knows who they are. So it's just like a bunch of awkward conversations where like he'll go into an elevator and he's like, "Hey, I think I recognize you. Didn't I hire you as an assassin?" And then he'll like bite his tooth to like a cyanide capsule and like. So it was funny. I will say another thing is that in like the first 5 seconds of the movie, some dude gets blown in half, which surprised me. Like I think you can even see like a little like. Because it's like on an airplane, a dude gets blown in half, and like I think you can even see like a little like piece of intestine like blowing in the air. And I was like, "Whoa, what is this movie rated? PG-13?" I'm like, okay. So like I say, I think that's a fun movie. Again, maybe it's not for everyone, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, like I've had a hit or miss experience with Wes Anderson so far. I've only seen the Grand Budapest Hotel, which I enjoyed. And then last year I saw Asteroid City, or as I like to call it, Space Cadet City, which I absolutely hated. I wanted to kill everybody in that cast.
Good, because what's his name is in that cast?
Except Tom Hanks.
Tom
Hanks was all right in it.
Oh, okay. That was the one who I wanted to fight.
Okay. Was he in this movie too?
Yeah, he was for a brief time.
Matthew Almeric, the bad guy from Quantum of
Solace, he was in it too. That I haven't seen him in a movie in.
He was in Grand Budapest Hotel. I think he collaborates with Wes Anderson.
I think Wes Anderson. I assume he must be a fun guy to work with because it seems like the people that he works with like to come back.
Like half the people on this list were either from, or actually more than half the people were either in Grand Budapest Hotel or in Asteroid City.
Yeah.
Like Willem Dafoe included.
Mm-hmm.
He was in both of those.
I will say that this movie is technically the third in a trilogy of movies. Wes Anderson has like, I forget what it's called. It's like the, some type of trilogy. None of the movies are like tied to each other, but they're supposed to be all similar like in themes and stuff. Kind of like John Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy, but...
Oh.
And the other movies are, I think it's The French Connection, and I don't remember what the other one is. But
French Connection? That's a movie from the 70s.
Yeah, he made like a remake, I think.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
It might be called The French Dispatch. I could be wrong.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say French Connection. That's a very, very well-regarded movie with like Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
And Roy Scheider.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that basically sums up all of my thoughts on that movie. Let's see, what's next on the list? Is it? Oh, boy.
And it was The French Dispatch, by the way.
Oh, okay, it was French Dispatch.
Yeah. From like 2021. So yeah, it might be that movie and then Asteroid City and then the Phoenician Scheme. Maybe.
Yeah, it might be.
I don't know how Asteroid City would relate to either of those
I think that Asteroid City might not be
them.
part of it. It might be the one that was before those, but
Okay.
I don't know. You can look it up yourself. Hey, I'm not here to teach you.
All right, Rob, you're probably gonna be talking for this one, even though we both went to see it, because you got to explain how you convinced me to go watch this movie.
Yeah, I should apologize. So the next movie we're going to talk about is Megan 2.0. This movie. So I think I talked about the first Megan movie on one of our podcasts back in the day. But the first Megan movie was exactly what it needed to be. It was just a low budget, very predictable, killer robot doll movie with a little bit of some funny quirks and a healthy amount of cheese. So I'll give you a time frame. So we'll go back to February this year. Super Bowl happens. They released the first trailer for Megan 2.0. And this was really just like a teaser announcement where it was just basically like the logo was like Megan 2.0 coming out this summer. And I was like, oh, that's fun. They're going to make another Megan movie because of course they are. It's a horror movie. But then I read the description underneath the thumbnail on YouTube. And I had to read it twice because I didn't believe what it said. But it was like, in the future, a new robot is taking over the entire planet, and there's only one android who can stop him. That android is Megan. But will she stop the evil threat, or will she take over the world herself? And I was like, hang on, what franchise is this? We went from crazy animatronic robot to world-ending cyborg battles, and then the first trailer came out. And there was like katanas and like squirrel suits and explosions and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I gotta see this movie. Because sometimes you just have to watch the fireworks. You have to watch something crash and burn.
From a safe distance.
From a safe distance.
Yeah. I think
I don't think I told Connor any of this, by the way. I think that I just like, hey, do you want to go see it?
I was like, I want to go on record and say that I wanted to go see F1 because that was also showing at the time, which I unfortunately did not get to go see.
Yeah, neither did I. I wish I did.
I don't know. But it's like for 2/3 of that film, I think the movie was having a harder time trying to figure out what it was supposed to be than like we were trying to think.
Yeah.
Like I had no clue. The movie had no clue.
Never before have I seen a movie that treats the audience so dumb, that spends so much time having the characters tell you what is happening and what the themes are and what the messages are. And yet you still have no idea what's going on. Like this movie is so insane.
It's not even that. It's just like the whole like what genre is this supposed to be?
Yeah.
Like that's the problem I had.
The way I described this movie after we watched it, it was like scrolling on YouTube Shorts and just watching random clips from random movies just back to back. Because at one moment, this movie's a horror movie. And then it's a spy movie. And then there's a car chase. And then it's a romance movie. And then it's like every genre, like every 5 minutes, something else is happening. And it's never what you actually expect to happen. And I don't mean that in a good way. Like, this movie, like you could tell that the writer and director of this movie was just given full reign. And he was just like, oh, dude, let's just put everything that I want to make in a movie in this movie because I might not ever get to make a movie ever again. And he might be right, And I'm trying to think of... I haven't seen any of the, like, Resident Evil movie sequels, but I always imagined this was how they would play out. Like Megan 2.0.
That's probably pretty fair.
Yeah.
It's like... The way I was thinking about the plot is like, it's almost like Terminator mixed with Deus Ex, but written by way dumber people.
Yeah, like...
and done in a way dumber way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of Terminator, it's like it kind of pulled the Terminator 2 in a way, because the original Terminator was kind of more like a horror movie,
horror action movie.
And like I guess Megan's the antagonist in the original one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator's the antagonist in the first Terminator, and then they do the switcheroony, and it also becomes more of an action movie too.
Yeah,
but this was just like way over the top, running with that idea.
Yeah,
Oh my. And the thing that surprised me too, it's like I don't think I recognized a single person or like a member of the cast at
Yeah,
all.
the only member of the cast I recognized was Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords, but guess what? He gets killed in the first act. So, you know, like to tell you how bombastic this movie is, there's like a very important plot point about a super intelligent, I guess super intelligent is the right word, like hyper deity level intelligent photocopier from the 80s that if you take it, you get like god powers or something like that. Like this is the kind of stuff that this movie throws at you, like in the third act, you know, like it's crazy. It's a bad movie. That being said, I still did have some fun with this movie. I won't say I had fun the whole time. This was probably the first time I was ever in the movie theater and I said, yep, I'm turning on my cell phone. I don't care. But I think some of the jokes that they did, like, did land. I don't know. I hate to be that guy, but I'm like, it looks like the people who made it got to have fun.
Yeah.
You know?
But then again, when would you ever watch this again?
I will never watch this again.
Yeah. Unless it's like in the dollar bin.
Yeah.
But you can't buy DVDs for $1 anymore.
No, it's the $5. It used to be the $5 bin. It's probably like $6.50 now.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. There are 2 more movies that...
Oh, yeah. What if I told you Megan 2.0 isn't my least favorite movie I saw this summer?
Okay.
So the next movie I'm going to talk about is The Lady in the Yard, which I technically didn't see this in theaters. I saw it on an airplane. But I figured, it came out this year. It's new enough. Nobody else is talking about this movie. I'm going to talk about this movie. So, the first thing I heard about this movie was actually from Red Letter Media, where Jay described it as a movie that everyone would say is really smart if it had came out 50 years ago and was done in French. But because it came out this year, nobody is talking or cares about it. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. So, it's a horror movie. The premise of it is you have this family, single mom, 2 kids, power outage. They're stuck in this old house in the middle of, I don't know, some farming area. And all of a sudden there's this creepy lady in the yard who's like all in black and she's sitting in this chair. And she has these dark magical powers. And as the movie goes on, she's constantly getting closer to the house. And I just got to say that for the first... I'll say 90% of this movie, I was having an absolute blast. And to talk about this, we're going to have to go into spoilers, but...
Oh, is it actually called Woman in the Yard?
Oh, shoot, it might... Yep, that's the movie. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's another Blumhouse.
Yeah, it's another Blumhouse.
Okay.
But this movie has probably one of the worst endings I've ever seen in a movie. And it's not because it was done poorly... But essentially what happens is the end of this movie, you know, because this is one of those little more like artsy type movies. It turns out the whole point of the movie is that it's trying to say that if you're a single mom, you should probably just kill yourself because that's easier than raising kids. I was like, what on earth? Like, that's what happened. It turns out the woman in the yard is either some type of angel or demon that was sent. Because at the beginning of the movie, the mom is like, oh, Lord, please help me get through this or something like this. And the lady's like, that's why they sent me, was that you were praying for the strength to commit suicide, so I'm here to help you commit suicide. And the ending is sort of left up to interpretation, but not really. It's pretty freaking clear that the mom just commits suicide at the end, and that's supposed to be like... I wish I knew someone else who had seen this movie so they could talk to me and, like, have a debate with me, because I feel like I'm a crazy person. Because, like, I'm like, there's no way this is what the movie's about, but I can't interpret it any other way. Because it's just, like, that just seemed like what the moral was like, oh, being a single mom sucks, just kill yourself. And it's like, I can't be on board, and I can't recommend a movie to someone that's the message at the end of it, you know? Like... There's a place for being, like, over-the-top edgy, and there's also a part to, like, say, like, well, maybe this is a stupid idea, and that's kind of how I feel about this. Like, this is just, it's not fun and it's not cool. And like I said, I was having a blast. The other half, it was very intense. There was some really cool shots. There was a little bit of My House WAD mixed in there. There's like a mirror in the bathroom that takes you to a mirror dimension, which again was straight from myhouse.wad, which I thought was interesting. But it's like, again, it's just like, and I'm like, is this supposed to be like some type of like feminist power piece? Like, well, what is this supposed to be? Well, it was written and directed by a dude, so I don't really think he has the best place to be speaking for single moms. So, I don't know. I just, it was a movie that left me very disappointed, and I felt uncomfortable afterwards. So I wanted to share my thoughts on that, because I literally haven't told anybody about this movie.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, I took a quick look at it on Wikipedia. It's like the only cast member I recognized was Russell Hornsby. He played someone's husband.
Yeah, there's only like 4 characters in the movie.
Okay.
So the main mom, her husband is like just recently died. So the idea is that she's supposed to be adapting to life as being a single mom.
Oh.
So like that's probably who he plays, because I don't think there's anyone else in the movie. I think it's just the woman in the yard, and then it's the mom, the 2 kids, and then the dad in flashbacks.
Okay.
So almost a really cool movie, but it turned out to be not a good movie. And for me, I think that's really interesting. I hope I'm not griping on about this too long, but, you know, the older I get, the more I think I look at art differently and stuff. And, you know, I never really thought that the moral or the message of a story could impact my view on the overall product that much. Because, like I said, I don't have any complaints about anything else. Like the acting, the cinematography, the set design, the music is all good. It's just that message that it leaves you with is so ugly that it ruins everything else for me. So I just think that's interesting. Let me know if there's any other movies out there or pieces of media that, you know, you always thought you should like, but you don't, just because of some type of messaging or something in it, because of the themes or something. I don't know if you have any off the top of your head, Connor.
Yeah, I would have to think about that. It's usually something with like the plot or like the way a movie ends, but it's not necessarily because of the themes themselves. Yeah. But yeah, I would have to think about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're moving on to the 2 big, I guess, superhero blockbusters of the summer. Or I don't think they actually busted the block this time, but
No, I think I'll talk about Superman, because you haven't seen Superman yet, have you? Okay, so I'm gonna keep this spoiler free. I'll share my thoughts on Superman. It's been a while. I wanted to rewatch this movie because I didn't know how I felt about it when I first watched it.
Oh, you should have told me that. We would have gone to see it.
Yeah.
It's probably in streaming now, isn't it?
I think it's on streaming. I think it also might still be in theaters, but I could be wrong. But, you know, this is the first movie in this new Superman series. I do like the Superman comics. I kind of read a whole bunch earlier this year. I was trying to make my way through All-Star Superman. I didn't finish it. I'm sure I will at some point. But I will say that I did enjoy this movie, but I didn't enjoy all of it. And that's not to say that there was like something huge, like The Woman in the Yard, that really threw me off. It's just that the movie is to me, it felt like a really long episode of Rick and Morty. That's the best way to describe it. Like, there's just a lot going on. Like, this movie has so many characters. I mean, you've got Superman, and then you've got all of his buddies at the Daily Planet, you know, and he has a lot of buddies. You know, Jimmy Olsen's a character. Matthew Perry is a character. Is his name Matthew Perry?
No, it's not Matthew Perry.
Robert Perry. The one football dude. You know, Lois Lane is in the movie. And then you've got Lex Luthor and all of his goons. And then you've got the Super Friends. And then you've got all these new characters that they meet. There's just a lot of characters in this movie, and there's a lot going on. There's like lots of dimension hopping. There's just lots of monsters and a lot of bombastic things. And I'm cool with all of that. But it was just all a lot in a short time period. And it was almost... I always like to think about movies in a fun exercise, I think, is like, how would this movie be perceived if it came out 10 years earlier? The first Ant-Man movie, when it came out, it wasn't really all that, you know, appreciated. Like, I think the Marvel fans really liked it, but it wasn't a huge hit. But I feel like if the first Ant-Man movie had come out in 2005, that movie would have been like insanely popular. If this movie had came out in 2015, this new Superman movie, I think everybody would hate it. Like, I just do. Like, it's just a very different approach to superhero movies. That's not to say that it's not similar to a lot of superhero movies. This movie is very similar to a lot of superhero movies you've probably seen, but it's also just very wacky and there's a lot of stuff going on. And that kind of threw me out of it a little bit. That's not to say I didn't enjoy the movie, because I did. I think the highlights for the movie was Mr. Terrific, which is a character I always knew about, but I didn't know a whole bunch about him. I think the only notable appearance of him that I had really experienced was his appearance in the Injustice animated movie, where he kind of has a pretty cool little discussion with Superman. But he gets some really fun parts. And then I really liked the Superman robots. They were fun. There's just a lot of fun things in this, but again, like, there's just a lot in the movie.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like, since this is supposed to launch a new universe, or film universe, that they're just trying to make up for lost time.
Yeah.
Like, they should have started this maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
With, like, around the time that last Suicide Squad movie came out.
Yeah.
And, like, kind of worked up to it, but I don't know. Like,
and I kind of feel like this movie doesn't need a cinematic universe. I mean, that's what everyone's expecting from it, that it's going to kick off all these different movies, and we're going to get a Green Lantern movie, and we're going to get a new...
You're getting a Green Lantern show.
That's right, we're getting a Green Lantern show, and apparently Peacemaker Season 2 takes place in this universe, and all this stuff, and we're getting a Supergirl movie in the future, and I kind of feel like we don't need all of that, at least not yet. I mean, I would be totally cool with this just being a Superman series, you know? Like, you could just do... Well, with the amount of stuff you threw into this movie, you know, you could make a sequel to this and, you know, not have half the characters from the first movie and have, you know, a whole bunch of new movies. Like, you can just have... I think the next movie should just be called Superman and Supergirl. I think that would be a totally fine sequel. Like, just try to keep it a little bit more directed and a little bit more story focused. That's what I would like to see. And you can still have, you know, Batman and stuff show up. That is one thing I will say. Like, the main reason I'm saying this is that I want to see a goofy Batman on screen. Like a live action, like one that's closer to the Adam West. But I also know they're never going to make a movie like that unless it's like the Lego Batman movie or something. But if he's just a side character in a Superman movie, I think that could work. Especially in this universe. Have like, I don't even know who you would get to play as goofy Batman. Neil Patrick Harris. There we go. That's the first name that came to my mind. No, it needs to be somebody fancy. Who's like the fanciest celebrity right now?
I really don't know.
Yeah. Daniel Craig. We get Daniel Craig as Batman. I don't know. It would be fun, though, to see this. A dark, gritty Batman. I don't know how well that would mesh with this version of Superman. It could be fun, but I also think that a more goofy Golden Age Batman could be fun as well. But yeah, I mean, it was good. I think that if you're a fan of Superman, then you should check it out. If you're curious, you should check it out. See for yourself.
Yeah. Like, my interest to see this is kind of waned.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's pretty much gone now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I will anytime soon.
Yeah. Here's what I will say about this movie. This movie has some political commentary that isn't really done in the best way. Like, it's a little bit in your face, and it's not really saying anything smart. It's just kind of like shoehorned in there. And it kind of deals with some complex topics that I think will turn off a lot of people. It's not like the most offensive movie. I know there's a big debate online over if this movie's woke or not, but that's what people say about every superhero movie these days. Like, that's just how it is. That being said, this movie, you know, specifically about the Israel-Palestine conflict, I think it could have been handled a little bit better. It just kind of seemed to take a very big and bad conflict and reduce it down to a Saturday morning cartoon plot, which, again, it might work for some people. It didn't really work for me. So that's one of my bigger gripes with the movie. I know this has mostly been me complaining about it, but I do think the movie's fun. I think David Cornsweet is a very fun Superman. I think the speech he gives at the end to Lex Luthor was like 10 out of 10. Probably one of the best Superman scenes. Not that I'm an expert on Superman movies, but I just really liked that scene.
How would you say Nicholas Hoult did as Lex Luthor?
He did good for what he needed to. You know, I don't know if he would still be my top pick for a person, but you know, Nicholas Hoult, he was fine. From what I understand, James Gunn was very inspired by the Smallville iteration of Lex Luthor.
Yeah, Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah, like he wanted it to be close to the Michael Rosenbaum version of him, which, again, I haven't really seen much of Smallville, so I can't really say that. But
it's been years since I did.
I remember when I was a kid, my aunt used to babysit us, and she would watch Smallville, and I'd be like, this sucks. Where's Superman's costume? Why isn't he flying and stuff?
Why is he crying all the time?
Yeah, why isn't he fighting any giant gorillas?
I don't think he was crying all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been, like I said,
or maybe he was, but like I said, it's been years since I saw it.
Yeah. I will say that, because the next movie we're going to talk about is Fantastic Four.
And speaking of crying all the time.
Yeah. I will say, I think that I liked Superman more than I liked Fantastic Four.
Okay.
But I think the lows of Superman were much lower than the lows of Fantastic Four. I think Superman had higher highs and lower lows than Fantastic Four. But we can talk about Fantastic Four now. So,
all right.
This was one that we did both see.
Yeah. It was all right.
Yeah, it was all right.
That's really all I got to say about it.
Yeah. So this year I've kind of been on a bit of a Fantastic Four high. I started reading a whole bunch of the Stan Lee and Jack Kirby Fantastic Four comics. Those my friends probably know because I would send you panels without any context.
Yeah.
To mess you guys up. But to talk about those for a moment, I can't really say that they're quote-unquote good high art, but I think they have their entertainment value, and every once in a while you'll get something where you're like, oh, hang on, this is kind of deep, this is kind of cool and emotional. But again, it's a comic book from the 60s, so it doesn't last very long. But it was kind of cool being able to go and read those, and then see this movie, and then, because this movie takes place in some type of weird 1960s dimension. And it was kind of cool to be able to read those comics and then go and see a film adaptation of those characters and those adventures. And I think that this movie did do a very good job at adapting the Fantastic Four. The one character who I think didn't quite get as much love as he needed to was the Thing. Just because, at least in those older Stan Lee Jack Kirby comics, the Thing was a bit more grumpy and monstrous and stuff, and in this he's kind of just like a nice friendly guy,
a dude.
Yeah, he's just a dude. He's the friend of children. There's one scene in the movie where he's watching a TV and it's got a news broadcast and it shows him before he was the Thing, and surprise surprise, it's the dude from Andor for some reason. I don't know why they cast him. I mean, it's one of the guys from Andor, and then the TV like shuts off and like it shows, you know, then he just sees his like rock face reflection in the black screen, and like he kind of has a moment of introspection there, but it doesn't go anywhere. That's the only bit you get of him being like a little upset about the fact that he's a crazy rock monster. And I would have liked to see a little bit more of that, but also I get that the first Fantastic Four movie from 2005 did a lot of that. And I haven't seen that movie since 2005, so I can't speak to how well they did it. But
I thought you'd never seen that one.
No, I had seen it. Okay. I saw it once in theaters. At the Dollar Theater.
Okay.
And I was so upset by it that I never wanted to watch it again. And I didn't even remember why I didn't want to watch it. But then I found out, I was watching some reviews of it this year, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. There's a weird plot point about Dr. Doom wants to marry Sue, the Invisible Woman. And like he buys like a ring to propose to her, but then at the end of the movie it turns out like, oh, we've never even dated. And it's like, what? Then why'd he buy the ring? Why have you been hanging out with him all this time? Typical women. Am I right, boys? But we'll stop talking about old movies. We'll talk about this current Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have been complaining about Pedro Pascal because he just seems to be showing up in everything. But I don't know. I thought he did a good job as Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic has always kind of been portrayed as the old man who's kind of the one that's keeping the group under control. So getting an old man like Pedro Pascal makes sense to me.
Yeah, mustache was kind of weird.
Yeah, the mustache was kind of weird. And a lot of people have been telling me, like, yeah, but could someone else do the role better? And I'm like, maybe. I don't know, you know?
I get someone that's kind of almost a dork.
Yeah.
Which... who would have done a good job at that? Like, I don't know if you'd want to go with, like, a comedian or anyone like that.
There was a rumor, and I don't know how truthful this is. I mean, I know that there's a lot of truth to it, but in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, you have
John Krasinski.
Yeah, John Krasinski show up as Mr. Fantastic, and according to Daniel Craig, he was originally going to play as Mr. Fantastic in that movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, there's some debate, because he was supposed to be in the movie, but it happened right during lockdown, and he wasn't able to leave the UK, and that's why he wasn't in the movie. But I've heard some people say that he wasn't going to be Mr. Fantastic. He was going to be, like, Balder or some type of Thor variant. But I've seen conflicting reports, but Mr. Fantastic being played by Daniel Craig, I don't know how that would look either, I'm going to be honest. But I do know Daniel Craig can play as a dork, so... just watch No Time to Die. There you go.
Yeah, the last James Bond movie.
Yeah. But, you want to talk about Galactus?
Yeah, kinda. I guess it's neat to see a non-space tornado version of Galactus.
Yeah, you know, like, it was fun seeing Galactus on screen. Like, when I first heard that he was going to be in the movie, I was kind of like, come on. Because Galactus is always... well, not always. Typically, he's a character that's built up to in Marvel Comics. He's usually shows up when a big event is going to happen, or he shows up to get his butt kicked to show off how powerful the new villain is or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of like, you know, I always thought Galactus would be the perfect villain to build up to in the way that Thanos was built up to. So to just throw him out in the first movie and have him get defeated was a little disappointing for me. But then also I had this thought, maybe they're just going to stop making Marvel movies in the next 4 years. So, you know, it's kind of like, hey, you just get him out there. You know, I thought his design was great. The way he moved around I thought was cool. How it was all slow and sluggish. And then I love the fact that, I guess we're just doing spoilers, but at the end of the movie, was it the Invisible Woman just like basically 1v1s him, which I thought was really cool. Like, she just gets all pissed off and is using the force fields to take him out, and I thought that was awesome, because she doesn't really do much throughout the rest of the movie besides give birth.
Yeah. And then get brought back to life by little Franklin Richards.
Yeah.
With his Jesus powers. Or whatever his powers.
Yeah, that was... yeah, I forgot about that. I was like, wait a second, I did have issues with this movie. It's really weird that, like, they just go to space, and they're like, hey, could you not eat our planet? And he's like, oh, shoot, I gotta eat that baby, holy cow, like...
Did he want to eat the baby, or did he want to transfer his curse to the baby?
I don't know. He wanted to do something to the baby, and they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Which, I thought that was kind of cool. But at the same time, it's like, Galactus, you idiot. Like, there could have been some magic babies on the planet you just ate 5 minutes ago. Did you... you're not even looking? Like, what's wrong with you? You could have... I've been around for thousands of years, and this is the first time I've seen a baby, a magic space baby. I'm so glad you showed up to my house. That's always the best way to find stuff.
What a nice coincidence.
Yeah, what a nice coincidence.
You're trying to figure out what the hell I am, and I'm trying to look for a magical space baby to take my curse or to eat. I'm still figuring it out myself.
Hey, I've never even seen a magic baby before. I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
I'm going to have my weird shiny lady take it right from your womb.
Yeah. That was the other issue I had with the movie, the fact that the Human Torch is able to learn the Silver Surfer's language just by like listening to like recordings and stuff. Like, I don't know, that seemed a little cheap to me, but not as annoying as the Magic Space Baby issue. And again, who knows? Maybe that's the point. Maybe we're supposed to hate Galactus because we're supposed to think he's an idiot, but like, it didn't really come off that way to me. It just felt like a mistake in the writing. But overall, this is a pretty cool movie, but again, like, it's just fine. Like, this is definitely better than Thunderbolts, but it's still like a mid-tier movie for me. With that being said, are you excited for Avengers Doomsday now after watching this movie?
I'm just, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe I have 1% more excitement for the movie, but it's so small that I still can't really say how I'm feeling about Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, and I know I said that I was not really interested in Marvel movies,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went to see this one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I do have a little bit of nostalgia for the 2005.
Yeah.
So Fantastic Four movies, even though I've never been a fan of the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And those I still think people shit on them a lot, but if just as dumb movies,
Yeah.
they're kind of all right.
A lot of people
You
are
can do better though.
A lot of people are apologizing online for the hate that the first two Fantastic Four movies got. If you go onto Rotten Tomatoes, those movies have 10%. They were hated when they came out. And now I think that you can appreciate them a lot more because there's a much worse Fantastic Four movie. Fan-Four-Stick. A movie I watched this year because I saw that clip online of the say that again. And I was like, if the whole movie is like this, it's got to be hilarious. No, it's not. The whole movie sucks. That's the only funny part in the whole movie. It's literally one of the worst movies I've ever seen. There's 2 good scenes in the whole movie, and they're short, dude. They're not long scenes. Do not watch the 2015 Fantastic Four movie. I mean, everybody already knows this, but now that I've seen it, I've seen The Abyss, and all of the movies I've talked about so far are better than Fantastic Four 2015. All right, let's talk about something else.
Yeah, okay. Oh, the lone movie on this list that only I saw.
I'm excited to hear about this.
Okay, let me talk to you. Oh, let me talk to you about a little film called Weapons.
A little movie that nobody thought was going to be a hit, but then it turned out to be a pretty big hit.
And you want to know something, Rob?
Sure.
The biggest pain in the ass about this movie is if you talk more about the premise, which everybody probably knows about now if they've heard about the movie, you basically spoil it.
Oh, really?
And that's kind of a pain in the ass. So I've been trying to think, what do I even talk about with this movie?
Okay. Was the acting good?
The acting was good.
Yeah. Is it scary?
It is. I guess I will say, it's more of a tense movie, I will say, because it's more of a mystery than a... Is it more of a mystery? It is a horror film. There are a lot of people who are like, oh, I don't know if you can quite call it a horror film, but it is a horror film. But it's still got a mystery attached to it. People are trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, the basic premise of this movie is that all the kids except one from a classroom of third graders have disappeared. Mysteriously. Ring cam footage shows them running out of their homes at 4:37, some innocuous time like that at night, running straight out, and no one has any idea where they went, if they're safe or not, what made them go out, and so a couple of the characters in the movie are trying to figure that out. The main one being the teacher from the classroom, who is played by the lady who played the female Silver Surfer from the new Fantastic Four. I forget her name.
Yeah, she has the name that sounds very similar to another actress, which threw me off.
Yeah. I think it's just kind of a very just general sounding name.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick.
And then Josh Brolin, who plays the father of one of the students that disappeared. And one of the...
Oh, it's Julia Garner.
Okay.
Yeah. So isn't there an actress named Julie Garner?
Yeah. Isn't that the...
I think that's the lady from Arrested Development.
Oh. Okay. Then who's the Wizard of Oz?
That's Judy Garland.
Judy Garland, okay.
That also might be who I was thinking of.
Okay. But anyway, what was I saying? So, one of the things, I guess I'll talk about one of the things I liked about the movie.
I was thinking of Judy Greer. That's who I was thinking of.
Oh. is that it's told kind of in a non-linear manner, and it kind of switches like between characters when it does that. And it's not like all out crazy like Pulp Fiction where it just completely like rearranges things. Like it kind of almost does it in a chronological way in a sense, but like jumps around a bit when you have to like move back in time and see what this guy was doing when another event was happening. But yeah, I think they handled that pretty well without it being confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Some of the characters they could have just dropped or like cut down their parts a bit. There is like the second act I think is kind of bloated.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like before I give like a full on review of this, I kind of want to see it again because I did only watch it the one time. I was interested in seeing it again, but like I don't know, I just never was able to.
Would you recommend this movie to other people?
It's kind of hard to because it is an R-rated movie, and it's one of those R-rated movies that earns its rating from like one or two scenes.
Are there any scenes of childs getting like mutilated or killed?
No.
No? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll watch it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But there are scenes of mutilations.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the cast was fantastic. Like I said, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also kind of unintentionally funny.
Oh, really?
Parts. Like, I don't know if they were going for, like, sort of like a black comedy in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I just remember the end, like, walking out of the movie at the end, people are, like, laughing their asses off. They're like, what the hell was that? But it was kind of good.
Yeah.
It's like the two guys ahead of me. It's like,
Is it similar to the ending of *Malignant*?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, okay. That's a movie that has a very crazy ending.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There is a good comparison. I'm not thinking of it. I can't think of it at the moment, but if I do, I'll mention it before the end of this. But anyway, let's kind of move forward.
Yep.
So yeah, Weapons I would recommend. That's
Okay,
probably my favorite new movie of this year so far.
Okay, cool.
With caveat is being that I do kind of want to watch it again. Maybe I'll hate it on the second viewing. We'll just have to see. But
next movie is one of my favorite movies. That's right, Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
So for some reason they did a Shin Godzilla reshowing this year.
Yeah,
like,
4K something or other.
Yeah, I think I should have read up on this before we recorded this. I think that the rights have kind of changed for who's distributing it. For the first time ever, there's like an old 4K Ultra HD version of the movie, which that seems a little weird that we didn't get one until now because movies in 4K were pretty common back in 2016, weren't they? Like,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But either way, the movie got re-released. This was a movie that I didn't get to see in theaters when it came out initially because Godzilla looks pretty weird in this movie.
Yeah.
But I was nervous because this was the first Japanese Godzilla movie in like over 10 years. So I wasn't sure how it was going to be. I was a little afraid it would be like a little too weird for me. But I actually really, really like this movie.
And you're talking about when you saw it back in the day,
Yeah,
right?
when I saw it back in the days.
Not that's like last month.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I like this movie a lot. As you guys know, I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I do rank this movie higher than most other Godzilla movies. That's not to say I think it's perfect, but I will say that getting to see it in theaters was really cool. What were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was all right. So this is only the second Godzilla movie I've ever seen. The other one being Godzilla -1 last year.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that annoyed me about it was how the subtitles were handled.
Yes, so I was going to talk about that too, that this movie does not do well with subtitles.
No, not at all. So one of the annoying things that this movie does is that anytime there's a new character, whether they're important or not, whether you're going to see them again, it'll give you their name and their friggin' job description pretty much.
Yeah.
And it'll do it for characters that it's already introduced. It'll just make the job description freaking longer.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of a joke at that point. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay. But the thing that pisses me off about that is that normally the titles are down at the bottom, but whenever they bring any of those like name tags or whatever, they're at the bottom of the screen, so they bounce the subtitles to the top of
Yeah.
it. And it's like, damn it.
And this is a movie with a lot of quick cuts. There's a lot of scenes where it'll be someone will say something fast, and then it'll cut, and it'll be someone else saying something fast. And that just does not work well when you're doing subtitles.
Yeah.
So luckily, there is a dubbed version. But apparently it's really bad. I haven't seen the dubbed version. One of these days I will probably watch the dubbed version, but all my friends who have seen the dubbed version say that it's laughably bad, which is kind of funny to me because there's a lot of quote-unquote English speakers in this movie as well. That...
Oh, jeez. Yeah, the Japanese American lady that's saying, oh,
yeah.
I don't
Oh, Godzilla.
It was stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, there actually were American.
There were some Americans.
That actually surprised me.
Yeah.
That there were non-Japanese actors in the movie. But, yeah. And I guess the other thing I'd complain about, too, is that Godzilla looks kind of retarded before he fully mutates. Like, he doesn't have his front arms. So, like, when you first see him, he's, like, just kind of going
like
along
weird,
the bottom of the river.
squishy tadpole creature.
And he's
just
it's like I looked to you and Greg like after we watched this, and it's like, I had no idea what was going on to begin with. I thought he was like rubbing his ass on the bottom of the river as he's moving forward. It's like, what the hell?
And he's bleeding everywhere too.
Yeah, and then he like comes out and it's like this weird googly-eyed thing. So like, what the hell is that shit?
Yeah,
it's like I would run too. I would have. Oh, jeez.
Like I said, when I saw those pictures online, I was like, yeah, I don't think I need to watch this movie. And I'm glad that I have. I get the idea that they just wanted to make something totally weird. And that's one thing I will have to say that I respect Toho for doing, is that because the American Godzilla movies are kind of, like very generic, streamlined Godzilla movies. Like they follow, they kind of feel more traditional to Godzilla, where, Godzilla is more of a superhero and he's a dinosaur and he fights people, and his design it's unique, but it's also very similar to Godzilla. So I kind of like that you have like this more normal Godzilla movies coming out, and then the Japanese, whenever they do make a new Godzilla project, they always take it in like a very new and different direction. Like Shin Godzilla is very different than Godzilla -1, and then there was the two Godzilla animes that were very different from each other, and so I appreciate that. But I don't know, I just think this movie's so much fun. This movie is a little bit of a political commentary about the Fukushima disaster, which, again, I like because, the original Godzilla was kind of a commentary on the nuclear bombs, so this is a commentary on a more modern
Well, they
Japanese.
throw that in there, too.
They do. They throw in a lot of little things, but the images of, all the boats on Godzilla's back smashing through the buildings and stuff was very, similar to what we saw during that earthquake in 2011. But I think it's funny. I think the best part of the movie is when Godzilla is all fully charged up and he just burns down the whole city. Like, that was the part where I was like, okay, this is a good movie. I will say the rest of the movie is a little lackluster after that, but I don't know, I still like it. And yes, I am the world's biggest Godzilla shill, but I like this one more than I like other Godzilla movies. So,
how would you rank it compared to Godzilla -1, by the way?
I think Godzilla -1 is much better than this movie.
Okay.
There's things that I like more about Shin Godzilla than I like about -1, but not a whole lot. -1 is just a solid movie. You can show it to basically anyone and they'll love it. Like it's a cool period piece. It's, the characters are much more characters than the characters in Shin Godzilla. I like both of them for different reasons. Godzilla -1 is like a very soulful drama. It's a very cool blockbuster type movie. Shin Godzilla is more of like a dark comedy. I've always found the movie very comedic. I don't know, it was when Godzilla's stepping on the people and he's got the big dumb googly eyes. I just can't help but laugh.
He's got crack eyes, bro.
Yeah, he's got crack eyes. When all the helicopters line up to kill Godzilla and then they're like, hang on, there's an old man crossing the street. They're like, we gotta call off the attack. I just can't help but laugh. I just think it's funny.
No collateral damage or whatever. Oh, jeez.
I should say that this movie is made by Hideo Anno, who created the Neon Genesis Evangelion anime. And I am a fan of that show, and I wouldn't have watched it if it hadn't been for Shin Godzilla. And I also like the other two Shin movies, which is Shin Ultraman and Shin Kamen Rider.
Yeah, which I've seen Kamen Rider.
Yep. Those movies are both also on crack, but
Oh.
they're on a different form of crack than
Crack,
Shin Godzilla.
speed, and
They're all on
everything
drugs,
else.
but it's a different drug. All right.
Okay.
Let's talk about our final movie.
The last one, the big one.
Mm-hmm.
As in, we're going to need a bigger boat.
That's right. We're talking about Jaws, the OG blockbuster.
Because it had its 50th anniversary, and they put it back in theaters.
Yep.
So, kind of, so another, what am I trying to say? So the version of this movie we saw is actually fully new.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was like just a 4K version of it that they were showing in theaters, but the one we went to also had a 3D version, which was very, very cool, very, very well done, like surprisingly so. Because I had just seen this movie like maybe twice in the past couple months leading up to this. And it's like, yeah, I want to see it in theaters, but let's make it different. Let's make it 3D.
Yeah. I will. Yeah.
And I regret nothing.
A lot of 3D movies, like 3D used to be like so big, like 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But it seemed like most of the newer movies that were coming out in 3D, a lot of them didn't really feel that good in 3D.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the first Avengers movie, which you would think would be an awesome movie to see in 3D, and it was like basically unnoticeable. But this movie, I noticed it.
Yeah.
When the shark was swimming and coming out of the water, he was coming out of the water.
Yeah, like all the underwater scenes and all that. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. But yeah, like, I don't know. I would like to talk about this more at another time since we're kind of
we're kind of getting
up
long
on it. But yeah, like it.
And you hadn't seen Jaws until this year.
Right. Like I was saying, this is like the first time in a long time I've watched a new to me movie like multiple times in a year.
Yeah.
A long time. I think the last time was actually The Wild Bunch. But that I only watched twice, and it didn't go back into theaters. Or it wasn't in theaters at all. But yeah, this, like, I don't know, there's just something about this movie that speaks to me. It's like, it's about 3 dudes from different walks of life with different motivations, all going out to sea to hunt down a bullshittingly large killer fish. Like, what the hell else do you need?
Yeah. Like, every good thing you've heard about this movie is true. Like,
Yeah.
I used to rank this as Steven Spielberg's best movie. But then I said, I don't know if it is his best movie. But you know what? Today, I think it might be his best movie. Like, I just think it's awesome. You know?
And, like, talk about, like, a summer blockbuster. This is almost like a monster movie for the summer.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I like about it, too. Even though, like, I wouldn't categorize it as that. Like, people call it, like, a thriller. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty fair. The shark's not in it that much. Not to really spoil it. It's more about, like, the human drama, like on the island.
And it's such a cool movie because even though I've seen this movie tons of times, you know, like it still has some intense scenes. Even if you've seen the movie, when Sheriff Brody's at the beginning of the movie, when he's sitting on the beach and he's just watching all the people play, you know, it's an intense scene. And you're like, oh man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who gets killed. And it's like, oh, that's right. That's who gets killed.
Yeah. Speaking of which, so we like to talk about PG movies from the 70s that today would probably be R-rated. Like we talked about Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the remake from the 70s. Like that definitely would be an R. But this one, would you say it's probably closer to PG-13?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Like I don't know. Like the only scenes that feel out of place for a PG-13 movie is there's the scene of the leg falling down.
Right.
And then when the shark comes out of the water after he ate a character I'm not going to spoil in case somebody hasn't seen Jaws for some reason.
Oh yeah, that
when the shark comes out, you can see that his mouth is like covered in flesh and bits and stuff, and that part was always really gross to me.
And the girl in the beginning, you can see her.
You can sort of see her boobies. They're not
even
with the ultra 4K, they're not super clear.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know, Rob. I've seen the movie 3 times. I'm pretty sure you can see him. I've been looking for him each time.
Yeah.
Well, each time after the first. Yeah.
I should say this is also one of the only movies that hasn't had a modern reboot. Like,
oh man, yeah, that is
yeah,
true.
like it's kind of weird. You'd think that they would have done something. I mean, I know that for a long time, Jaws sequels have been getting shit on, like, which they deserve to.
That's why I had to specify that this was Jaws in 3D and not Jaws 3D.
3D, yeah. But at the same time, I think the last Jaws movie came out like in the early '80s. I want to say, like, so like, you would think that enough time has healed, but I think people still have Sharknado on their mind. You know?
Yeah, the most recent like Jaws related thing that I think came out was a Jaws Unleashed. It was a video game
Yeah.
from like the mid 2000s or maybe early 2000s. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there hasn't been a new movie.
And part of me is happy about that, and part of me is like, I'd be curious to see what would happen, you know? If they took the Top Gun Maverick approach over the Indiana Jones 6 approach? 5. Indiana Jones 5 approach. Make it more like Top Gun, nothing like Indiana Jones 5.
Bring back Hooper, because that's the only one.
That's the only one who's still alive.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's an awesome movie. That's a 10 out of 10. If we were doing a tier list for the movies that we talked about today, this would be in the S tier. Nothing else would be.
And that's why I had to specify. Weapons was my favorite movie of the new movie of the year, but Jaws is it just wipes the floor with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, like I said, there's still like a quarter of the year left. Who knows what I might see? Because I would like to see F1, even though that's that's got to be coming to home video soon.
Oh yeah, I think it is on home video.
Okay. And I want to give an honorable mention to 28 Years Later, which is another movie I did not see in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
But that movie, I think, had the best trailer out of any film so far this year. Like, it just is a freaky freaking trailer. And it got me to want to go watch the original, the first two movies, which I did.
Yep.
And, I don't know, I don't know, I thought about doing all the new to us movies we saw this summer, but it's we'd be here all night.
Yeah, I just really wanted to talk about The Woman in the Yard, because I haven't been able to talk to anyone about it, and I wanted to complain and say how weird it is.
Yeah, and I really haven't talked about Weapons, but like I said, it's hard to without spoiling it. But I don't know, I'll have to get your opinion on that if we ever watch it, because that might actually still be in theaters, because that was doing very, very well, and I don't know if they'd want to keep it in. I think it might get some more of that money. So if
Superman's still in theaters, Weapons has got to still be in theaters.
Yeah, because I know 28 Years Later, that's going on video this month, I think. But as to everything else, I don't know, Weapons we might see before the end of the year. Megan 2.0 is probably already on DVD.
They're probably not even selling it on DVD. They're like, nobody wants this.
Nobody wants them, so they're...
Send it to the Hulu mines. No, send it to Shudder.
And all those unsold copies, they're being sent to the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
That's cool.
Where they belong.
Not sure how to end this now. But yeah.
That's how we end it.
That's how we end it. Hey, if you made it this far, thanks a ton for listening. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
Let me know in the comments what your favorite blockbusters were. There was a lot of big movies this year that we just totally skipped out on.
Yeah.
Like the new Jurassic World, because why would I want to watch that?
Yeah, and I guess that other, what's that, prehistoric war or whatever?
Oh yeah, Dinosaur Vietnam.
Yeah, that might look like dumb fun. That's actually in theaters now.
Yeah, How to Train Your Dragon came out. I didn't hear anything about that, but I thought the Gen Z kids would have lost their minds.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
Oh! I got a story.
Oh boy.
Okay. So to coincide with the 50th anniversary of Jaws, they had a special popcorn bucket.
As they do. So which one did you want? There was one that they sold that was like a big chum bucket.
Well, the one that I saw, so when we went to go see, was it? No, it's when I went to go see Weapons. Because we had already known they were going to show the movie. I think because they had the poster for it when we were at Fantastic Four, but Greg was talking about this almost a month prior. Because he went to see it with us. And anyway, when I went to go see Weapons, I was at the snack counter, and they had their plastic bucket display, and it's like, oh, there's a shark head bucket.
Oh, the shark head one was the one that you wanted? Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's cool. They're going to be selling that for the anniversary. It's like, okay, I'm going to pick one of those up that night. And I was looking forward to this. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get my shark head bucket. Get there, and it's gone. It's like, oh, that's weird. So I talked to the guy at the counter. It's like, hey, aren't you guys selling any popcorn buckets for like the Jaws anniversary? He's like, yeah, we were. They started selling them before it was in theaters, and they sold out. It's like, oh, damn it. So I go to another theater, this time in Michigan, like a small theater, because they had the drink cups that looked like the yellow
yeah, those
buoys.
looked cool, yeah.
Yeah, they looked very cool. And it's like, okay, second chance, I'm going to go there. So I walk in, and this is all I want, because this is like the middle of the day. It's like, hey, do you got any more of those Jaws drink cups? It's like, no, we don't. We sold out of them almost immediately. And like the lady was like, we weren't even sure we were going to be showing the movie, but a sales rep came around. I guess they were pawning off the cups separately from the movie. It's like, yeah, you just asked us if we wanted them, and we were kind of like hesitant, but I guess we're kind of glad we did. It's like, damn it. So I'm going to have to look on eBay.
If there's any college students listening to this, word of advice, get yourself a roommate who works at a movie theater. You will get lots of free cool stuff.
But I guess don't work at the theater yourself.
You don't have to work there to get the free stuff. Just ask him, be like, hey, can I have these posters? Can I have some free popcorn?
Can I have that giant footprint popcorn tray or whatever the hell it was supposed to be that your dad was trying to buy that they wouldn't sell to him?
Yeah.
That was the only thing that they had when they had all the Jurassic Park stuff, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because no one probably bought it.
No.
And then the Naked Gun beaver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another one that I kind of wanted to see was the Naked Gun, but
I've only seen the first one. There's like 2 other ones.
Oh yeah, I've only seen the first one.
Leslie Nielsen. Huh.
Yeah, the new one looked like it was a movie that could be a lot of. Sorry, it was a movie that looked like it could be a lot of fun, or it could be embarrassing.
Yeah, it was Seth MacFarlane, so it could either be kind of all right or really, really retarded.
Yeah.
The last movie I saw of his was A Million Ways to Die in the West, and I wanted to kill myself. Which also had Liam Neeson in it, surprisingly.
Yeah, the last Back to the Future movie.
Last Back to the Future movie?
Yeah, because Doc Brown is in that movie.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in it as Doc Brown.
Dang it. Okay, it's been... The only thing I remember... The only cameo I remember about that was Jamie Foxx as a black Django. Django Unbreaded.
Yeah.
Because it's like the ending scene where like he goes to a shooting gallery. He's like, hey, step right up. And then he just shoots the guy. He's like, people die at the fair. It's like a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
So that's how you end a freaking video.